Hello friends, this is Anil Raj. Welcome to Engineering Mechanics. In the previous classes we have seen when two forces are acting at a point, by taking resultant of forces, how to solve the problem we have seen. In the last video we have seen the Lami's theorem. When three forces are acting at a point by using Lami's theorem, so how to solve the problems we have seen. In today's video we are going to see polygonal law of forces. What is polygonal law of forces? So let us see this once. The resultant of any number of forces acting at a point can be graphically obtained by polygonal law of forces. Yes, this is polygonal law. And let's see the statement once. The statement is, if any number of coplanar forces acting simultaneously at a point are represented in magnitude and directions by the sides of a polygon taken in order, then the resultant is represented in magnitude and directions by the closing side of a polygon taken in opposite order. It means by the statement you can clearly identify that, see, if the forces are more than 3, then you can go for this using polygonal law of forces. And you're having some formula. How to use that formula, just we will see. After seeing the statement, let's see how to solve it. So let me tell you, for example, this is a point O where a force is acting towards this direction. Let this be P1, and one more force is acting at an angle. Let this be P2. And let us see, one more force is acting in this direction. This is P3, and another force which is coming towards this directions, so this is P4. It means in the figure we are seeing the concurrent forces. Concurrent in the sense we have seen the early classes. From one point all the force should come, so it is called as a concurrent forces. This is a concurrent force because O is the center point where P1, P2, P3 and P4 are the forces which are acting. So by representing the polygon we can find out the resultant. How? Just we will see. Now here OP is the first force which is acting towards these directions. So let me tell you. So here let this point be AB, right, in these directions. So this is O point, right, here AB which is acting in this direction. Next P2 you have to draw, 0 to P2, O to P2 you have to draw. So where I have to start in the sense, in the polygon in the sense, not from here. From here you have to start the diagram to get a polygon. Now it is moving at this direction, so this is P2. Let this be P2. Let this be P2. So this is C. This is P1. This is P2. I have drawn with the same dimensions. Now one more force which is acting in these directions, this will be P3. So from the C point again you have to draw that point. So let this be P3, P3, and now we are having P4 also. It is coming in these directions, so I have to draw P4. So this is P4 which is coming in this direction. So this is D, this will be E. Now, so this is the polygon and we are having a closing error for this. And the line which is drawn will be in the opposite directions. This will be calling as the resultant of all the forces. This should be in the opposite directions. Just now we have seen this is whatever the directions that will be sent, which will be coming in the same directions, but the resultant will be in the opposite directions. It means all the forces put together is your resultant force. By this closing of A and E, you will get the polygonal. Let us see one example. Now AB is there. Now let me tell ABC by taking the angles. So I want AC. I want AC. Now I am writing the forces in AC is equal to forces AB and BC. This is equal to AB force plus BC force, or else you can write P1 plus P2, because AB is represented with P1, BC is the force of P2, right? Now in AC triangle, AB and BC are the two forces which are acting, and AB plus BC is equal to your AC. So this is your resultant. Now let me draw this one. I want to find out from A to D. So A to D. Now AD is equal to AB plus BC plus CD, right? Three lines are there. AB plus BC plus CD. This represent P1 plus P2 plus P3. P1 plus P2 plus P3. This is R, right? This or this, R, right? You can write like this, you can write like that also. And now here AB plus BC is equal to AC. From the previous one, AB plus BC equal to AC. So here I can draw AC plus CD directly. Therefore AD is equal to AC plus CD. AC plus CD. Now let me find out AE. Right? We'll see how to find out AE. If I want AE, then AB plus BC plus CD plus DE. So I'm writing here AC AE. AC is finished, AD triangle is finished. Now I want AE. Therefore AE is equal to AB plus BC plus CD plus DE, where AE equal to AB plus BC plus CD plus DE. From this, what is AE? AE is my resultant. Therefore, R equal to, what is AB? P1 plus P2 plus P3 plus P4. See, from this you can clearly know that if you want the resultant, then the resultant is equal to sum of all the forces in a polygon. Here AB force is represented with P1, BC force is represented with P2, CD force is represented with P3, and DE force is represented with P4. Now the closing resultant AG is equal to, we have written A equal to R, then R is equal to P1 plus P2 plus P3 plus P4. By summation of all the forces, you will get the resultant force. This formula is going to be used in polygonal law. So let us see some of the conditions, how to use this formula. By using that conditions, you can solve the problems, because in the polygonal forces, this may be in first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. I think you all know, you all might be known about all silver teacups. By using the all silver teacups, we have to decide in which quadrant is P1, in which quadrant P2 comes, and P3, P4. By that, resolving the forces towards x-axis or y-axis, you will get cos and sines. We'll see how it will be, right? Now let's see how to resolve the forces. So I am taking the coordinate x, y, x dash, y dash. Now let this x and y, this is the first coordinate, this is the second coordinate, this is the third coordinate, and this is the fourth quadrant. Because you have to use this condition to solve the polygonal law of forces, because you have to resolve the forces along x as well as y. How we are going to be resolved also I'll going to show you in the video. Now in this case x and y both are positive, so x will be positive, y will be positive. Your condition will be plus and plus, everything will be plus. Coming to the second coordinate, here this is negative, this is positive. In the second coordinate you will get minus plus, minus plus. And let's see the third coordinate. Third coordinate, obviously this is minus and this is minus, so you will get minus minus. And in the fourth coordinate you will get, this is plus, this is minus, so this is plus and minus. First coordinate plus plus, second coordinate minus plus, third coordinate minus minus, fourth coordinate plus and minus. By these signs you have to resolve the forces. Just now we have seen some of the forces which are acting, whether it is resulting x, you will get positive, whether it is y, will get positive. If you resolve the same forces in the fourth coordinate, one will get positive and one will get the negative. So let us see how to resolve the forces also. So let's see the forces, how to calculate and resolve the forces as we have seen in the previous one. So this is x and this is y. My first coordinate will be here. This is my first coordinate, and he said that one force is acting in the first coordinate, so this is my force F1, as we have seen earlier. So this is positive, this is positive. Then I want to write the forces F1 or Fx1 is equal to x1, in the sense x1 representing the force is in first coordinate and we have to resolve this force towards x. When I am resolving this force towards x, you will get cos. So this is F cos theta. So theta is nothing but the angle which is given in your question. Theta is nothing but your angle. Now I have to resolve the same force towards y, and before going to that, here x coordinate will be plus, so that also we have to indicate. So this is the major one, so that is plus. Now let us see, when I am resolving the force towards y, F y1 is equal to F sin theta. When it is going to be resolved in the y direction, you will get sine. When it is going to resolve in the x direction, you will get cos. And when it is resolving, what is the position, whether it is plus or minus, in the sense it is first coordinate, so everything is plus. So plus and plus, right? So this is the way you have to resolve. F1 is resolved towards x, then you will get F cos theta. F is nothing but, for example, 50 kilonewton force is acting at an angle of 30 degrees. 50 kilonewton force is acting at an angle of 30 degrees. Then Fx1 equal to 50 cos 30. That is resolving in the x direction. When you resolve in the y direction, 50 sin 30. By solving, you will get the forces. X force you will get and y force you will get, right? Similarly, when the force is in the second coordinate, so let me draw one more force. So this is F2, right? So this is the second coordinate. So in this, x will become, so this is x dash, no, x dash and x, this is minus and this is plus. Now I have to calculate the forces in x as well as y direction. Therefore I am writing here f x2, because this is in the second coordinate. F x2 equal to f cos theta. So I am writing here, so this is f cos theta. What is the sign here? This is negative sign, so you have to substitute the negative sign, because in the second coordinate x will be negative, y will be positive. So you will get this is negative, this is positive. And similarly, f y2 is equal to f sin theta, and the coordinate will be in the positive direction. So this is in the positive direction. So you got the second coordinate also. When you move on to the third coordinate, for example, if I draw one more force over here, so this is F3. So this is in the which coordinate it is? This is third coordinate. In the third coordinate, so x dash will be minus and this is y dash, this is also in the minus, so both x and y will get minus. So let me write the equation here. I am writing over here f x3 is equal to f cos theta, but is in the third coordinate, you will get the negative sign. Similarly, you have to go for the horizontal. This is horizontal, but once you resolve this in the y direction, in the vertical direction, you will get sign. So fy3 is equal to f sin theta, where this is also is in the minus, so you will get minus over here, right? And now we are having a last coordinate, so that is fourth coordinate. So let this is f4 and this is my fourth coordinate, where x is positive, y is negative. When I resolve this f4 towards x, I'll get positive. When I resolve this f4 towards y, I'll get negative. Let this be f x4 is equal to, I'll get positive this side, so f cos theta, the sign is a positive sign, and when I resolve the same force towards y direction, I'll get negative. F y4 is equal to f sin theta, you will get minus sign. So like this you have to resolve the forces, because in the question paper the problem will be like that. That may be in the diagrammatic form, or that may be in the written form. So he'll be giving you like this, here 50 kilonewtons, 40 kilonewtons, 30 kilonewtons, 20 kilonewtons, right? These are the forces which are acting in different coordinates, making an angle of 30, 40, 30, 40. Then you have to resolve the forces. You have to resolve the forces in x direction, y direction, in x, y, x, y, x, y. In all the directions, each and every force you have to resolve in two directions. One is in x, next one is in the y. So after resolving all the forces, then what you have to do in the sense, add all the x coordinates, add the x forces, f1, fx1, fx2, fx3, fx4. Summation of that, plus fy1, fy2, fy3, fy4, summation of this. This both will clearly give you an idea. And next, how to form the formula we will see. Up to here I think it is clear to you. So let's continue the next one. So how you will get the formula by this, we'll see. Now after solving all f1, f2, f3, f4 in x-axis and y-axis, you have to add all the x terms to one side. It means sigma fx equal to f1x plus fx1 plus fx2 plus fx3 plus fx4. Similarly, sigma fy, add everything, fy1 plus fy2 plus fy3 plus fy4. Now sigma fx you will get, sometimes this may come in the positive as this may come in the negative also. Put whatever the value you get, because you are having positives and negatives. For example, you got this value minus 20, put minus 20 only. This you got plus 20, plus 20 only. If it is minus, put minus here. Don't change the values. Whatever you will get, put the values like that only. That may be minus or that may be plus. And then you got sigma x, you got sigma y. Now what you have to do, that you want resultant. In the previous class also we have seen resultant. Resultant is the main target. Then here resultant is equal to square root of sigma fx square plus sigma fy square. So this is my resultant of polygonal law of forces, where r equal to sigma fx square plus sigma fy square. Similarly, you have to find out theta. Theta is equal to, and theta is nothing but the angle, a resultant angle also you will be having a theta. So that is theta equal to, tan inverse of theta equal to tan inverse of sigma y by sigma x. As we have seen in the earlier classes also, and I said you in, twice and thrice in the previous classes, when this is in kilonewtons, your resultant will get in kilonewtons. When the values is in newtons, you will get in newtons. And in the same way, the theta also will always come in radians. It will come in vocabulary only, the format, but while writing you have to use your calculators and you have to put degrees button in that, so that everything turns into degrees. You will get it in degrees, minutes and seconds, right? So this is how you got the formulas. And let us see one problem, and I'll show you how to solve the problem. By solving this problem, you can clearly identify how to solve this easily, because these are not the toughest methods, because these are the basic methods which you have to learn. When two forces are acting at a point, by resultant of square root of p square plus 2 square plus 2pq cos theta, by using that formula you got the answer. When three forces are acting, by using Lami's theorem, p by sin alpha plus q by sin beta plus p by sin alpha is equal to q by sin beta equal to r by sin gamma. By using that you got the solution. And now in this polygonal law, r equal to square root of sigma x square plus sigma y square. The problems are getting bigger, but the solutions will become the same. Because when three or more forces are acting, you are going to use this method. When two forces are acting, you are going to use resultant method. When three forces are acting, you are going to use Lami's method. When it is more than three, then you have to use this. You can use 6 forces, 7 forces, 8 forces, plenty of forces, but the formula will be same. Sum of the resultant of x, sum of the resultant of y, you will get this, and that is your theta value. And let us see one problem which will clearly explain you how to solve the problem, and this is the major essay which will come in your questions. So right, let's solve it. So let's see a problem. Find the resultant of the following system of forces. So 120 newtons acting at an inclination of 30 degrees to the northeast, 100 newtons including it and 60 degrees towards northwest, 50 newtons towards the west and 80 newtons towards the south. So let us find out in which coordinate this will come. We are having 4 values. Let us see the coordinate first. Let me draw you the coordinates first. This is x, this is y, this is x dash, this is y dash, as we have seen in the earlier classes also. So 120 newtons acting at an inclination of 30 degrees towards northeast. So this is my northeast. So 120 degrees, right? 120 newtons will act over here. So this is 120 newtons. 120 newtons. This is my magnitude. Magnitude in the sense number. Magnitude in the sense number. 120 newtons in the sense this is called my magnitude. Direction in the sense angle. Angle represents the directions. So this is acting at 120 newtons at an inclination of 30 degrees. It means, so it is making an angle of 30 degrees towards x. So this is in the first coordinate. And then let us see the second one. 100 newtons included at 60 degrees to northwest. 100 newtons. So northwest. So northwest in the second coordinates. So it will come like this. So this is 100 newtons. So this is my magnitude and my direction is 60 degrees. So this is my 60 degrees. And coming to the third one, 50 newtons towards west. 50 newtons towards west in the sense north, east, west. So let us see east, west, north, south. Now here he said 50 newtons towards west. Which side is west? This is the west side. So he said 50 newtons is acting towards west. It means it is acting on the west. So here, so this is 50 newtons which is acting on the west, because it is not making any angle like first and second coordinate. If it is making any angle, then your diagram will be like this, but it is not making any angle. So it is directly acting on the x dash, that is west. And now fourth one, 80 newtons towards south. This is my south. I am not having any angles here. So this is 80 newtons. 80 newtons in the sense exactly it is acting on the south. For example, he gave west south or southwest with an angle of 50 degrees in the sense, then you will get like this. But in the question he didn't mention this. Here he gave 30 degrees, you have drawn 30 degrees. Here he gave 60, you have drawn 60. Here the angles are not there, and he said 50 newtons towards west and 80 newtons towards south. It means towards, in the sense in that direction only he is giving. So 50 magnitude and 80 Newton magnitude is acting on the y dash and x dash axis. Now in the previous video we have seen, in the previous topic we have seen how to solve this. So this is in the first coordinate. First coordinate in the sense f x1 is equal to f cos theta. First coordinate in the sense plus, right? So right now, what is the 120? What is the force here? 120 plus 120 cos 30 degrees, right? Similarly, you can solve f y1 is equal to, this is also in the first coordinate, so plus f sin theta, this is equal to plus 120 sin pivot. Now let us see, this is in the first coordinate, so f x1 is equal to, that is in the first coordinate, so plus f cos theta. So this is plus, what is the force in the first quadrant? What is the magnitude? 120 is my magnitude, and cos 30 degrees is my angle. So by applying in your calculator, you will get 120 cos 30. So this is 103.92. So this is all in newtons. So my answer will also get in newtons, right? So in the similar way, you have to draw, calculate for y, fy1, fx2, fy2, and how to draw this also I'll tell you. So to solve your problem in an easy manner, so let me tell you this in a tabular form. By using the tabular form, you can solve your problem very easily. So let's see, let's draw the tabular column and let's see how to solve. Now this is the tabular column which you have seen. So by this tabular column you can solve the problem very easily. These are our conditions. By the question I have drawn this figure and this tabular column has to be solved. So let's solve this. So position of force. Position of force in the sense in which coordinate the force should be. The first, second, third or fourth. So let me take the first one, that is in the first quadrant. So first force is in the first quadrant, right? So this is the first quadrant. And next, magnitude of force. Magnitude in the sense I said the number. What is the magnitude of this? 120 newtons. So this is 120 newtons. And direction. Direction in the sense how much angle it is making. So this is 30 degrees. So 30 degrees comes over here. So it is in the first coordinate with 120 magnitude and 30 degrees direction. And now horizontal forces, I have written the formula also. Fx equal to f cos theta, Fy equal to f sin theta. You can substitute, you can take these formulas. This is the previous formulas which I have written in the tabular column also for your better understanding. So f cos theta, what is f here? 120. So I am writing here, it is f, it is theta. Fx equal to f cos theta. So 120 cos theta. What is the value of theta? 30 degrees, right? So these are both are in positive direction. So plus 120 into cos 30 degrees. So that will be, after doing in your calculator, you will get 103.92. So the value of this will be 103.92 newtons. Now similarly, vertical forces, F sin theta. When I am resolving the forces into vertical directions, I'll get sine. So F sin theta. What is F sin theta? Same. What is F here? 120 sine 30 degrees. So you will get 120 sine 60 in the sense 60 newtons. So you will get the value of 60. Right? So that is the first coordinate. The position of force is in coordinate number 1 and magnitude of force is 120 newtons. Angle is 30 degrees. Horizontal component in the sense when it is resolving in the horizontal component, you will get cos. So 120 cos theta. Right? When you are resolving it in the vertical direction, you will get sine. So 120 sine theta. So both are in first coordinate. So both got the plus. Right? Now let us go for second coordinate. So this is my second coordinate. So the position of force is in the second coordinate. Right? What is the magnitude? 100 newtons. So 100, I am writing over here. Angle or direction, that is 60 degrees. 60 degrees. Now resolve that force in the horizontal directions, that is 100 cos 60 degrees. So 100 cos 60 degrees. When I am resolving this in these directions, so here it is negative, this is positive, this is positive, this is negative, and this is negative. When I am resolving this in this direction, I am getting negative, so put the negative sign in the front directions. So minus 100 cos 60 degrees. So the value of minus 100 cos 60 degrees is minus 50, right? Now let me resolve this force in y direction. If I resolve the force in y direction, then I will get 100 sine 60 degrees, right? 100 sine 60 degrees I'll get in the positive directions only, so that's why it is positive. Here also you can write both are in positive directions, so you will get in the positive signs. Now 100 sine 60 will be 0. You'll get the value of 100 sine 60. So 100 sine 60 will be 86.02. 86.02. Similarly, you have to go for the third force. That force is acting on the axis. So what I have to write here, it is not in the first coordinate, it is not in the second coordinate, it is on x-axis, on x-axis. It is not in the first coordinate, it is not in the second coordinate, but it is on the force is acting on the x-axis. So that's why I have written on x-axis. Here, what is the magnitude of that? There is no magnitude because x-axis. So that is 50 and the direction is 0. And now substituting the same formula. So here the force is 50 newtons, which you have seen over here, and the direction, that is the direction will be 0 degrees because there is no angle for this. Now let me write in this equation. So that is 50 cos 0 degrees. So here it is in the horizontal component, this is in minus, so you will get here minus. So minus 50 cos 0. The value of minus 50 cos 0 will be minus 50 degrees. And similarly, when I am resolving the same force in the y direction, in the y direction also I am getting the minus sign. So minus 50 sine 0. So you will get 0 here because sine 0 will be 0 into something 0. You got 0 over here. Now let me go for last one. So this is 80 newtons, which is acting towards on the south. So here you have to write on south in the sense y axis. What is the magnitude? 80 newtons. So 80 newtons. Angle people think that it is 0, but it is not 0 because 0 will start over here from 0 to like this 90 degrees. If you want to make an angle of y, it will get 90. So the y axis will be always 90 degrees. 90 degrees. Now on the x axis, obviously it is minus. So I am writing it as minus 80 cos 90 degrees. The value of this will be 0 again because cos 0 and sin 90 will be 0, so you will get zeros and zeros over there. And next I have to resolve this in y direction, vertical directions. So what is in vertical directions? This is also in the negative. Vertical directions also in the negative. So you will get negative minus 80 sine 90 degrees. So you will get minus 80 degrees. Sine 90 will be 1. So minus 80. So like this you have to solve the equations by taking your by seeing your tabular column, or by seeing this diagram. You have solved all the problem. And now here you have to calculate sigma x and sigma y. So if I do all plus, I'll get sigma x. If I do all plus, I'll get sigma y. Here sigma fx, and here I'll get sigma f y, because you're having a formula in the previous also we have seen what is resultant is nothing but square root of sigma x square plus sigma y square. So put all this in your calculus, you will get 3.92, because it is 103.92 minus 50 and minus 50, it comes to minus 100. So minus 100 plus 103.92 will be 3.92. So this is plus 3.92 newtons. And next solve this. 60 plus 86.02 minus 80, you will get 66.02. so this is 66.02. now you got x, sigma x and sigma y. Let's find out the resultant, and let's see the resultant force, that is R equal to square root of sigma x square plus sigma y square. So R is nothing but square root of sigma x square plus sigma y square. So what is sigma x? Just now we have seen that is 3.92. So I am writing here 3.92 whole square plus sigma y is 66.02. Yes, write the value of 66.02 whole square. Now by doing this you will get 66.136 newtons. If you do in your calculus, you will get the value of 66.136 newtons. This is your resultant force which is coming over here. Next you have to find out the value of theta also. So let's find out theta. What is the value of theta? Theta in the sense, in the previous you have seen tan inverse of sigma y by sigma x. So this is equal to tan inverse of what is sigma y, 66.02. So it is 66.02 divided by sigma x 3.92. Then you will get 86.06. So tan inverse in the sense 86.06. But you want that in the radians. So in your calculator, plus radian button, you will get in this format, that is 86 degrees 36 minutes 18 seconds. You will get in your calculus. So this is your resultant and this is your degrees. So like this you have to solve the problem. Hardly it will take only 5 to 10 minutes to solve the problem, and definitely this will come for an essay in your question paper. It's a pakka question, because without these problems your question paper will not have any questions, because this is the main question. In the previous problems that may come or may not come, but 100% these questions will come, because it's a time taking process and polygon is very important one in the engineering mechanics. So definitely you will get these type of problems. So try to solve more and more problems. In the next class we will see one more method and how to solve the problem. In the meanwhile, what you have to do in the sense, you have to make some values of your own and start on practicing the problems. In case of any doubts, you can comment me and I will try to solve those problems. Thank you very much.